Oh, the first NBA win totals are out. We saw, what was it, right after the season that the Cavs were favored to win the East.
And now the win totals are out.
And that's because obviously Indiana's without Halliburton. The Celtics are without Tatum.
Cavs and the Knicks are basically even now.
Yeah, I would have the Knicks personally ahead of the Cavs, but okay, whatever. Let's see. Do we have? Okay, here we go. The over-unders. I can't read that.
The Thunder have the highest over-under win total, 62.5. Cavs are second, 55.5. The Rockets third at 54.5. The Knicks 52.5.
Wow,
the Magic at 51.5, and the Timberwolves. And those are the 6 highest in basketball, by the way.
How many did the Magic win last year? This year?
44, 45 games.
It's a big boost for them.
Yeah.
All right. What do you? Let's go through this whole list, guys, and let's end with the Cavs. Let's start from the bottom, and say whether we go over or under on this win total.
Okay.
T-Wolves 50.5. That's a tough one for me. I'm going over.
I'd go over.
I would take the over as well.
Okay. Magic 51.5. Big jump for them. They have to win like 8 more games than last year.
Yeah, but they got. I mean, you mentioned two stars in the East that aren't going to be out there. So all those extra wins are going to rack up. I'll take the over.
I would take the slight over on that. The East is a mess.
Yeah.
But going from, and I hope I'm right when I guess 44, 45 wins. I'll look it up. Going from that.
They were at 41.
41, so that's a 10-win jump.
Yeah.
That's a big.
I'm going under.
It's a big jump, but I think the East is a mess.
I mean, are the Celtics bad? They're not bad.
They'll be okay. Not bad, but they'll be okay.
I mean, they'll be over 500.
I think they were at 46 on that list.
Yeah,
45,
right.
Give or take.
All right, I'm going under on that. Knicks, new coach, Mike Brown now.
God, guy's got 9 lives.
How serious are they going to take the regular season as compared to years past?
That's what I don't know.
I think they're going to have a chance along with the Cavs probably to have the number 1 seed. So I got the Knicks over 52.5.
They had 51 last year for the record.
Yeah. Especially if they
that's
get LeBron.
That's a good number.
It's a real good number.
It is a good number.
Yeah, they're going to be right in that 50 to 53.
I'll go slightly over on them. Yeah. Slightly over.
Well, I mean, if you pick the Magic over,
yeah,
I feel like you got to. Unless you think the Magic are going to finish ahead of the Knicks.
No, I like the Magic number. I think that's right in the right.
But it's only 1 more. So, all right, Rockets 54.5. They have Kevin Durant.
Under. Slight under.
And Kevin Durant's a negative?
No, I just think the West is an absolute gauntlet. There's only
That's
one bad team in the West, and I think I would take the under on all of the Western Conference teams.
Even the Thunder, huh?
I'm going to take a slight under on that. And I'm going to take a slight under on the Cavs, if we're being honest, too.
All these totals are going to be within a game or two, guaranteed.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just that 54.5. What did they win last year, you said?
The Rockets?
I know they added Durant.
What did the Rockets?
They won 52 last year.
Yeah.
Did
they were the 2 seed.
Yeah.
Oklahoma won 68, and then we won 64.
I got the Rockets under. I'm with you.
Under Rockets.
I got the under on the Cavs.
I have to.
I do too. I think
they're not going to focus on the regular season anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think their entire focus should be and has to be, we need to be as prepared for the playoffs as humanly possible. What works, what doesn't work. We need counters. One of the things that they ran into against Indiana was when Indiana took away their number 1 option on offense, and granted injuries played a part, that they didn't have as many guys to sparse the ball. They had no counter. And the counter this year has to be, we got to get Evan more involved, and we have to run more offense through Evan, and we're going to have to sacrifice some regular season games to force feed Evan the Rock early to see what he can and can't do in different situations. And if they win 54 games,
I don't care if they win 48 games.
I was going to say,
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter because all that matters is the playoffs. So we saw the Celtics win the championship and then go, I think, 6 games under their projected win total the next year. The Cavs obviously did not win the championship.
Yeah.
But it's hard to go and have as much injury luck as the Cavs had in the regular season.
Yeah. Well, you already know Darius is missing the beginning of the season.
Darius is missing part. I got him at 54 wins. If they go over, I wouldn't be surprised whatsoever. But I would take the slight under.
And then the Thunder, what do you guys got? 62.5.
Who's beating them?
What did they end up winning last year?
68.
68.
Yeah. I made a lot of money on the Thunder over last year. It was
Yeah.
at 55, and I was like, that's way too low. This number's scary. Going into an over-under at 62.5.
I mean, it's such a high number.
That's a crazy high number.
You're 1 injury away from being a 55.
And like how motivated they can be, especially early in the season, coming off a championship. You
always see the championship slump and the championship hangover.
I got them under. I think they'll win. I still think they'll have the most wins in the league.
Yeah.
But I bet you they win like 60, 61.
What was I could look this up right now. The team that I like the most, if you're really looking to make a bet now, I love the Nuggets for next season. Like, could not be higher on the Nuggets' chances.
Why?
Think they finally have a team around.
Well, who did they add?
They traded Michael Porter Jr. for Cam Johnson,
Right.
which I think is an upgrade from a stylistic standpoint,
Okay.
a health standpoint. They got Jonas
Makes sense.
Valanciunas, so they actually have
Oh, I
some
didn't
sort of
realize they got
center.
him.
They traded Dario Saric for Valanciunas.
Yeah.
They got Bruce Brown back, who was a
Oh, yeah, he was big when they won the championship. right?
exactly. And some of they lost Russell Westbrook, which I think is addition by subtraction.
Yeah.
Murray should be fully healthy for this season for the first time in a
Yeah,
while.
I'm with you.
And they have a new head coach that Jokic signed on with.
Yeah, right.
And Malone.
So what's their
obviously-
win total?
I'm trying to pull it up here. I saw a tweet with him. Hold on.
He talked me into the Nuggets.
I really like the Nuggets. I'm very,
working on
very
FanDuel
high on the
one.
Nuggets right now.
Man, the West is so much better than the East right now. It felt like the East had finally started
Nuggets
catching
are
up.
52.5. And I would take
Yeah,
I would take the over on that.
You know what's funny is like the West had been better for so long, and in the last couple of years, it felt like the East had caught up and maybe even passed the West, and now that's all gone. Now the West seems a million times better than the East.
The Spurs and the Celtics have the same exact over-under win total for
that's
next
wild.
season. The Spurs are
Yeah.
the 10th or 11th best team in the West. At least like what you'd expect. If
Yeah.
Wemby takes the jump, some of the young guys, they could
Yeah.
certainly be better. And then the Celtics are a year removed from a championship.
Yeah.
Without. And then you drop all
What's
the way down.
Indiana?
Indiana, 39.5.
Wow.
So sub 500 team.
Imagine going from the finals to the under 5. The Game 7 of the finals to finishing under 500. Who's fourth in the East beyond the Magic?
Cavs, Knicks, Magic, Hawks at 46.5.
I mean, if the Hawks are the fourth best team in the East,
Then Bucks,
That's
Pistons,
sad.
45.5, 45.5. Celtics,
the
43.5.
Pistons, yeah.
Sixers, 43.5 with the Celtics. Pacers, 49.5.
The Sixers, I mean, they're
You can't bet on the
Can't trust them.
Can't bet on
Yeah,
them.
no.
Completely untouchable. Completely untouchable from a bet.
I think I'd have Milwaukee higher. I'd take money on Milwaukee's
What do they
over.
got besides Giannis?
They did just sign Myles Turner, but I'm not sure how much of a
Oh,
game
yeah, I
changer
forgot about
that
that.
is.
What's the over/under for Boston again?
43.5.
I like the over there.
I do too.
They're always a scrappy team,
They're,
even when
they're a team that, like, even if they put some of their backups out there, they win games.
Yeah,
Like,
they
they're
got-
well coached.
Well, they
Yeah.
shoot a gajillion threes, so
Yeah.
it's just a matter of.
and Jaylen Brown, like
Well, we're gonna see how good could Jaylen Brown be a number one. Like,
he's
we're
going.
gonna
I
find
mean,
out
he's
this
going to
year.
take a ton of shots.
Yeah.
And they got some
Porzingis
other
is gone,
good
right?
players.
Porzingis
Where'd he
is
go?
going Atlanta.
That's right.
Which is part of the reason why their win total is now the fourth highest in the
Right.
East.
But he's also hurt all the time.
Yeah, if they get him for 30 games,
Yeah.
as long as he's healthy for the playoffs, that's all they care
Yeah.
about. But yeah, with the Cavs,
Yeah.
I just don't see them taking the regular season nearly as seriously, and I don't think they should. They should
would
be
they?
trying to workop different things to put them in a
yeah.
better position for a deep playoff run than we've seen in the past. So
Yeah. I don't know. It's just so. I have no energy level to be excited about the Cavs in the regular season because I said I wasn't going to pay attention if they didn't make any changes last year. They didn't. They got off to that great start. I jumped all in. I jumped fully in the pool. I splashed everybody on the side, and I was in there all season. And then they shit the bed.
and also to get to 64 wins, they won their first 15 games of the
Yeah.
season. They had 3 different 10-game win streaks
Yeah.
throughout the season. That doesn't happen. Like, that's so infrequent.
And how many times did we say, no, they're not the Hawks from whatever year?
Yes.
And they were the Hawks.
For most years.
They weren't even as good as the Hawks because
No.
the Hawks
No.
made the conference finals
Yes.
that year. So,
And the Hawks at least lost to LeBron.
yes.
yeah.
I mean, listen, the Pacers had a great run, but Tyrese Halliburton ain't LeBron.
Nope. he ain't LeBron now.
No, it's true.
And that was, what, 2015? God, it was a decade ago.
Yeah,
Still.
right, exactly.
He's still LeBron James.
Oh, you know what? We don't have another Guardians topic, do we? Because we never talked about the unearthing of my tweet from 10 years ago.
You want to do that real quick before we get to our next topic?
Yeah.
Time.
So,
Go for it.
Earl, end the clip. Bull, bring up your tweet.
okay.